pristine beaches, blue lagoons, water sports, coral gardens, and as a peaceful retreat from the noise and grime of city life, Lakshadweep is all that and more. This session aims to project the island state as a viable and film-friendly location with valuable insights into its film infrastructure and conditions for availing free security and other amenities at discounted rates. To shed light on these policies, we have with us today Shri R. Mihir Vardhan, Chief Secretary, UT of Union Territory of Administration of Lakshadweep. May I please request him on stage? Yes, whichever. I think it's. So he's going to present the PPT and he's going to explain to you before we touch the Q&A. Over to you, sir. Yes, you can take that one or this
one. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here in this Film Bazaar. This is my first participation in the Film Bazaar, and over the last couple of days, I have been trying to get an insight about what all this filmmaking is about and what we need to do. And I have been having a lot of stream of visitors to our pavilion. I've been listening to them and what they want, and we are trying to give them a good response so that I think we would be trying to achieve our objective of promoting Lakshadweep as a film shooting destination. You see, Lakshadweep, from my own, I believe that many have not heard of Lakshadweep. It's a very obscure and still undiscovered destination. And those who have probably heard of it, they don't know how it looks like. So I need to give a little bit of background information about what Lakshadweep is and what it looks like so that you can understand what I'm going to tell in the later slides. Next. See, this is the location of Lakshadweep. It's close to Cochin. You can also travel from Calicut and Mangalore to the islands. It's a group of islands. The landmass is very little. All the islands put together are not more than 34 square kilometers. So it means that our islands are just about 5 to 6 square kilometers. But they are all very spread out. You can see all spread out. So we have got a vast expanse of water. It's all lagoons, very, very crystal clear water and beautiful lagoons. And traveling to these places, it takes by vessel, by sea, it will take a couple of hours. Even it will take an overnight journey. The furthest island down is Minicoy. It's close to Maldives. So it will take an overnight journey. And if you travel by chopper, it will take something between 15 minutes to 1 hour. Next. So these are all islands. Next. This is the geographical area, as I said. See, the lagoon area is 4,000 200 square kilometers. Yeah, next. To achieve this twin objective, number one is how do we promote Lakshadweep as a tourist destination, and how do we promote it as a film shooting destination. These are the twin objectives that I hope to address here. Here we have got some major challenges. You have to understand here that what happens in the mainland is not a similar situation here in the islands. So number one is that the land mass is very little. People, we have got a population which was shown to you, just about 70,000 people. There are about 5 to 10,000 people in each of these islands. And we are very, very careful about who comes and who goes there. That's the reason why you have got a permit system there. The permit system is to protect the land and the people. And permit system is going on from the last so many years. So some of the visitors who came to me, they were quite shocked to know this, and they were understanding, saying this is part of India, how can you have a permit system? Well, this is an ongoing debate, but then we have to conserve and preserve these islands, and therefore it's very necessary that we have a lot of restrictions and regulations. And then we are very concerned about the environmental aspect. See, we are known as the coral paradise, and these vast expanse of water, it contains the best corals in the world, and the underwater flora and fauna is fantastic. Somebody has gone for scuba diving, will understand what I'm talking about. But these are all very delicate and fragile. So we have got a lot of concern and care for the environment. And you all know that the laws in India also, environment laws, are very strict. So we have to be very careful about what we exactly do, and we intend to respect the environment laws in our country. There's the transport, as I said, is another major challenge. You can either come to Lakshadweep by a flight. There's one flight which comes in the morning, Air India flight, comes and goes. Other than that, you've got passenger vessels which travel up and down. There are a number of passenger vessels, but these are all frequented a lot by the islanders. But in order to promote tourism, we have got our own quotas in it, and so we encourage people to travel by these boats. These are all overnight journeys. And then internet connection is a major issue there. If you guys are looking for something to be on your internet there and talk to the rest of the world, I must say that it will be very difficult. We are trying to do a lot of things there, trying to improve the GBs and all that. But it will take a lot of time. So you must be prepared to be cut off from the world. So that is what you should come prepared with, that mindset, because the connectivity is very bad. Of course, telephone calls may be possible there. Next. This is the accommodation facilities. It's very limited. You will understand that in the last couple of years, the number of tourists who are coming to to Lakshadweep are just about 10,000. Just about 10,000 or even less than that. And this will give you a picture. This is only the accommodation we are having, and all the accommodation is government controlled. We don't have any other private kind of accommodation. But there are a couple of private resorts. We call them as tourist homestays, which we are trying to encourage, but they are still in a budding stage. But majority of the accommodation is controlled by the government. All these rooms, they are all resorts, and they all have the basic amenities which you would like to see in any room in a resort. So all these things are available, and I feel that you can have a comfortable stay, but it's of very limited nature in all these islands. Next. So our tourism policy, as I said, in those parameters which I have spoken about, okay, there's also one more parameter I should mention, that there's a lot of security and strategic consideration also for the Lakshadweep, because we are having a border with Maldives. So we have got a Navy and Coast Guard and all that. So Government of India is very much concerned about the security and strategic considerations also. So keeping all these parameters in mind, our policy is very clear that we will not encourage mass tourism. It's going to be only very selective tourism. So it's going to be of a high-end nature, and it will be of low volumes. So in the next couple of years, we are only projecting maybe a doubling or a tripling of population of the tourist population. And to that effect, we are going to have some more accommodation facilities are going to be made available. And this will all be within the carrying capacity. You see, any tourism policy should have a carrying capacity. You can't just go on adding people to any place without understanding what is the resources there, or what is the kind of the burden which is being felt by the land and the people there. Okay, because I have spent a lot of time in Goa here, I find that Goa is going in the wrong direction, because a lot of they are going for mass tourism, increasing the numbers. So this is something which we intend to avoid. So we are very clear that we will encourage only limited number of tourists in Lakshadweep. And we are very, as I said, we are very particular about the preservation and protection. And we want to also, because in Lakshadweep, we have a lot of unemployment among the youth. And that is the reason why we want to also promote tourism to a great extent and help these unemployed youth to get these employment opportunities, and which will also facilitate their socio-economic development. Okay, next. This is, as I mentioned to you about the tourism carrying capacity in these islands. You see, in the next years, which are going to come, maybe next 5 years or something, this is the number of beds you will find. This is because the institutions in our country which are concerned with the environment, they have carried out studies, and they say that you only this much and not beyond this. So we plan in a phase-wise manner to try to achieve this plan of about 2,500 beds, which means that in the next couple of years it may reach to around 50,000 people. Well, this is the extent to which we can go in Lakshadweep, and we intend to respect this carrying capacity formula. Next. Now, what is the film shooting as issues which are there? You see, Lakshadweep, if you're looking at Lakshadweep, as I said, these are all islands, these are all having beautiful sandy beaches, and they have a canopy of coconut trees and very peaceful community there. It's 100% Muslim community, and they've got their own unique traditions and customs there. So it depends on what you're looking for. You want to exploit the natural beauty there, or you want to focus on the people in Lakshadweep for a film. It all depends on what you're looking for. But this is what you have in Lakshadweep as some of the major attractions for a film shooting. Next. These are some of the recent films which have been shot in Lakshadweep. Most of the benefit has been taken by the Malayalam films. About 6 to 7 films have come there. Next. Now, this is the existing practice we are having. I don't call it a policy. It's just a practice. There's a single window clearance system. Okay, you see, I was in that Maharashtra session, Maharashtra session about that Christopher Nolan's movie which was shot. So she was mentioning about the kind of permissions which are required. It's a maze of permissions. So many people, so many departments are involved. So I can assure you that the moment you apply in Lakshadweep, you will get your permission within 24 hours. That is the kind of system we are having in Lakshadweep, provided you have your clearances from the mainland. For example, if it's a Hollywood, the clearances have to come from the mainland, or if it's an Indian production, they will just have to take our clearances. So our single window system is very simple, and your permissions can be given very, very fast. And once the permission is given, we also facilitate the permit for the crew to come there. And we have got a location fee of 5,000 rupees, and it's a 250 rupees per person for it's a heritage fee. So somebody who wants to come and shoot in Lakshadweep, so number one is that I would suggest that you first do a recce of the place. Though I have told you a lot of things, I suggest that you come there. So in my discussions over the last couple of days, there was a proposal for a fam trip. So we have agreed for this fam trip, and it is going to be coordinated by Mr. Kulmeet Makkar, who's the producer guild. So we hope to have a number of people in that fam trip, both international as well as national. We would welcome them. We'll take you on a trip of all the islands, and then you can decide what is best for you. We would also like to look at the content part. We don't want to show Lakshadweep in an adverse manner. The third thing is that one should understand that we cannot bring huge crews. For example, the same film, Tenet, I think there were some 300 people in that thing. We can't bring that many people on the island. So that's going to create a lot of issues for us. So we are talking about a limited crew, maybe I would say 50. If your crew can be limited to 50 people, I think you're welcome to come and shoot your film. And also, provided you agree to these kind of guidelines which we have, if you are honoring these things, I think you are welcome to Lakshadweep to come and shoot your film. Next. In future, we are having the plans to increase the accommodation infrastructure. As I said, in the phase-wise, we are going to increase the accommodation. We are going to have additional flights to Lakshadweep. Expanding the current airport also is under consideration. And there are going to be more cruise vessels. And since we are talking about film making, I believe that our youth also should be skilled. I'm sure that many of the guys who come around trying to make a film there, they would look for local talent. We are having some Lakshadweep, technical directors and some actors also. But I think you need a lower level kind of stuff there where we need to engage these unemployed youth in filmmaking and give them the job opportunities. So this is what we are looking for. Next. So in conclusion, I would like to say that Lakshadweep has got a lot of potential for film shooting, but only to a limited extent. So we would love to have film shooting in Lakshadweep, but you must understand our restraints, you must understand our constraints, you must understand our challenges, and provided you respect, the top priority here is respecting the environment. And I hope you will also agree with me that Lakshadweep is a very, very pristine place. So we should not spoil it. If we are going to have a kind of an unregulated policy, we are heading for disaster, which is not what we are looking for. So please come to Lakshadweep and respect our laws, and you're welcome to Lakshadweep to come and shoot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And we have the video also to be played, please. you so much, sir.
This
Thank
was
you
just
so
an impromptu production because we just wanted to show a couple of locations.
Thank you so much, sir, for a detailed information and colorful journey through Lakshadweep. May I invite Ms. Aditi Anand, promoter, director of Little Red Car Films, to have the discussion further. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think this was a really comprehensive presentation. I had a whole list of questions to ask, but I think a lot of those got addressed. Before we throw it open to audience questions, I just want to mention something. Very recently, I saw a Malayalam film called Muthon. And when I was watching it, I thought to myself that I wonder which foreign location they've shot at, because it doesn't look like India. And I was so happy to see that it was in fact Lakshadweep, and it was really stunning. I mean, it was just beautiful. So for me personally, I'm equally excited to try and see if we can set up a project to do there, both for Indian productions as well as international productions. Sir, I wanted to ask you a very specific question. You said that obviously there was a limitation in the number of crew members that could come. One of the reasons why, Indian film crews have such huge numbers is because, we have attendants and things that go with equipment. Is there some possibility that Lakshadweep will be able to provide equipment and technical facilities?
Yeah, regarding the accommodation, why we say 50 is that the reason is that if you had looked at the accommodation in the islands, we can't accommodate more than 52 or maximum about 60 to 70 people. So, but if the film crew is willing to stay in a neighboring island, okay, we can provide accommodation in a neighboring island and you are willing to travel. Because again, you have to work out the logistics of coming, your timings and all that. Then we can decide whether you could stay in another island. Some of them could be accommodated in another island. But we would still like that the crew should be as small as possible. Because that gives us a better comfort in trying to serve you. Okay, so that's what I was saying.
And specifically with regard to there being the potential to hire equipment and crew from within Lakshadweep.
You have to do that from Kochi. We don't have any facilities in that way. I would say there's no film production facilities as such. I mean, you have to just bring your equipment with your crew, you shoot and you just take back everything and you go back and you do your post-production in the mainland. I don't think you can do anything there as such.
I wanted to ask you with regards to the application process you mentioned, and it's fantastic. I cannot underscore how amazing it is that the permission could come in a window of 24 hours. But I just wanted to ask you in terms of what is the documentation that is required, let's say for an Indian film, when they apply for these permissions, what would you need to see? And what kind of scrutiny is there of the script, for example?
Okay. No, the scrutiny, we would not go into too many things into the script. As I said, no, we don't want to have, there's no intention of anybody to show things in bad light, but we would just like to know what exactly you're shooting there. Just like you would like to tell anybody like an ASI institution or somebody, that kind of thing. I'm just saying that we would just scrutinize that part of it. And the people who are coming, as I said, no, first you have to make an application to shoot your film. So once we approve that, then the next will come the permit. So you will be saying that, okay, this is my director, this is my producer, and this is my crew. Okay, you will give in 50 names. We only require the Aadhaar number of the person. That's all. If you are giving this information to us, we are fine and we give you the permissions.
Sorry, one quick question and then I'll throw it open to the... I wanted to ask you specifically with regards to underwater shooting facilities. I think that's something which is very much a USP of the islands. Could you tell us a little bit about the facilities that are available?
Yes.
And
see, Lakshadweep specializes in scuba diving. Okay, in fact, we are trying to promote Lakshadweep as an exclusive dive destination. Okay, and we may be having an international expo also in the next couple of months. So most of the tourists who come to Lakshadweep, they would like to go for scuba diving. So to enable this, we have got a complete team of people. There are a huge team of people in all islands. We have got academies, scuba diving academies, very trained, very specialized, and these are the kind of people who will help you to take you to the underwater, which are the places which are safe, tell you where you can shoot, and they will keep you safe and they will bring you back safely.
Can we
please.
ask? Yes. Mr. Vardhan, you have Maldives as neighbor, and Maldives have been able to promote high-end tourism in quite an effective way. So I don't think that there is anything wrong with the system. Only the government deliberately is not promoting tourism in a big way as far as Lakshadweep is concerned. Secondly, I would like to ask you, whether there have been a film which depicts the local life of Lakshadweep people, and do they speak also Divehi, the language of which is spoken in
Yeah,
Maldives?
one of the islands speaks, the Minicoy speaks the language of Maldives, and the others they speak Malayalam. It's more of a Malayalam with different kind of a dialect. Regarding this film which you're talking about, we are already in association with NFDC. They are doing a couple of films for us and it's on board now. So we are hoping to do these ad films and these deck films, because for locations and all they need some deck, and also the documentary kind of stuff also. So these films will be on board in the next. You said about Maldives, but I don't think Maldives we should compare it, because Maldives is becoming too commercialized. And their direction also is not really, I don't take this as an example. We would like to have our own set of rules, and we would like to play our own game by rules. I don't like to go by what Maldives is happening.
And so the vessels mostly are flying from Cochin. So are there any plans to promote more points?
Yes. We are trying for an additional flight. There's only one flight now, but we are working for a second flight of Air India which will come. And also we want a flight from Goa. In fact, you see, I had come to Goa a couple of months back here, and we were in touch with the Director of Tourism and GTDC, because earlier there was a connection between Goa and Lakshadweep. There was a Kingfisher flight which was operating. So when Kingfisher closed down, the whole thing went, it stopped. So we are trying to revive that connection. So we are hoping that if we can connect from Goa also, it will be good. So we are working on these lines, and I hope in the next couple of months there will be some additional flights. The other way of coming to Lakshadweep would be by a seaplane. Okay. So we are working on transport by seaplanes also, and I hope that in the next couple of months also we should have some seaplanes also in operation, but again to some limited extent depending on
Thank you, Mr. Vardhan.
the environmental concerns.
Are there any?
Sir, very good afternoon. As you said, there is a lot of restriction of inflow of tourists. I don't find much information for solo travelers or backpack travelers coming into land. Can you share what is the?
I agree with you. You see, again, budget tourist and backpackers means it amounts to again mass tourism. So you see, our rates and all in Lakshadweep, they are actually not meant for backpackers. If you look at our tariff rates and all, and the kind of expenses you have to bear, you might say it's better for me to go to Thailand or Malaysia or Singapore instead of coming to Lakshadweep.
Sure.
So if you are comfortable with our rates, I think you would be welcome. You can come by, I would suggest that as a backpacker, you can come take the Samudram package. Okay. There's a Samudram package. It's costs about 35,000 per person. It's for about 3 days. You will stay on board the vessel and you will come on the island during the day.
And one more thing, sir. You told that Producers Guild planning to collaborate and they are visiting. I also request you to think of other industries, which especially in South, also make any.
All industries are welcome. I am not making any
Usually,
particular-
Producers Guild of India is mainly for Hindi film producers.
No, please understand that I am not saying we welcome all Indian film producers from all across the country.
Actually, I think I must say that the real genuine effort has been made in this case to have such a well thought out policy, number one, and number two, to be able to reach out to the guilds. I'm not sure that everybody does that. I think it's also important for filmmakers, on this side of the table, it's also important for us to galvanize the lobbies that we work with, the guilds, the associations that we work with, to be able to reach out two government bodies and make those connections. I think in this case, it's really a very comprehensive. In fact, just I wanted to have one quick question. Are there any other systems of support, etc., that are offered as incentives to filmmakers who are coming to shoot?
Okay, if you're taking about 10 rooms, for example, in the accommodation, you will get about 2 rooms free. That's an incentive.
So on accommodation, locations, that kind of thing, there would, one could think of further incentives perhaps at the starting stages.
So Aditya, I think we should first make a start. So we are still babies, as somebody was saying, baby steps we are taking. So the more you start coming in and the more you start talking to us and the more enthusiasm, the more encouragement which is there, I'm sure that maybe we can think like Haryana, which gives some 40% subsidy or 50% subsidy. So I think as of now we have no such, plans or such. You can just start, let's start something first, okay? So as I said, no, there's only Malayalam films which have come. I have not seen any other languages or either an English film or, I think I got one request from Dharma Productions recently. But they were talking about something else. Their imagination was something else. But we said, then you should come and see the island first. So,
Sir, is there a restriction on the total number of films that can shoot annually?
no, we are not having some restriction. It will all depend upon the number of people coming, how many days they are staying. We'll have to regulate all that. Okay. Supposing I'm having 5 applications, for example. Okay. I cannot give all of them at the same time. I'll have to regulate that. I'll have to say you have to come in so and so days. Okay. By the way, you should not come anytime between May 15th to September 15th. The weather is very unpredictable in Lakshadweep because even now, though we are somewhere in the month of November and December, we are subject to these cyclonic storms, okay, and these climatic changes which are happening. I don't know what's going on. But because of this, the transport facilities will get disrupted. The swell of the water and all that. So we would encourage you to come for shooting only between Jan to April.
Are there any other questions in the audience? No. So I think your presentation in the beginning was so comprehensive, it didn't leave very much for us to inquire about. I have one last question. Is there a website or a portal where we can go and A, apply, B, get more information?
Yes, you can. There's a tourism website we are having, and you can just, we can give you that information. He will give, Mr. Assistant Director, Mr. Hussain is here, he will give you the details.
So I wanted to ask you about the environment-friendly resorts that you're planning. Can you dwell on that?
Yeah, we are planning 3 eco-friendly resorts at 2 inhabited islands and 1 uninhabited island. It's going to be some exclusive resorts which are also having water villas. For the first time we are trying out water villas.
They'll also be government-owned, sir?
No, these are private. These are going to be private run, okay? But we are still in the process of it because, as I said, environmental clearances are a big challenge for us. So whether we can have these water villas come up like this in these islands and how would they affect the corals and all these are all some questions which are still being answered, and we have not got environmental clearances for that. So it's going to be a long process, but once these clearances come, you can expect some more luxury villas to come up in the next couple of years.
So I heard that you are also planning an environment film festival.
Yeah, we are working with both NFDC and the DFF. We want to have, because we want to focus on the ocean and community there. So underwater flora and fauna and a lot of problems are there, like sharks and whales, and so many issues are there, and we would like to definitely focus on these kind of things, and we would like to have an environmental film festival probably in the month of February.
Mr. Vardhan, I must say, both as a filmmaker and as a citizen of the country and the world, I think everyone must appreciate the kind of extensive thought process that has gone into making sure that this is a policy that is good for films, good for tourism, but also safe for the environment and the ecology. I think that's, should be kind of part of the mission for all of us. So thank you very much. Certainly for me personally, and I'm sure for everybody, this is, it's opened up a new avenue that we can all consider and look at. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.